Hello, in this lesson we will learn how we can change the values of our sliders on the filter panel. So if we press Ctrl space and we go to Blueprints, Systems, Points of Interest, then let's go to the folder UI and let's open the blueprint, widget blueprint, units, underscore filter, underscore panel. Let's open this, which is what we have here in front of us. And you're going to notice all the different buttons for the different filters of our system, and of course the two sliders. If you click on the slider, you may have the panels open, so you can close all of them to see these three details panels. We have filter values, we have the main title values, we also have min max values. So if we start with filter values, click here, you're gonna see these settings that we can change. We have the width of our trackbar. So if you're using this double slider on different sort of user interface, if you're designing your user interface as an advanced user, you can set this to whatever value you like. Of course, I would not go too extreme, but basically this is made to be modular. So right now it's set a value of 200. So it will be 200 pixels basically. So we have the handle size. So if you're using touch inputs and it's kind of hard to click on this, you can increase the handle size. Maybe this is kind of too large, but value of 15 is visually nice and it works. We have the left handle and the right handle positions, and these are between 0 and 1. So if you set this to 0, it will be at 0. And if you set it to 0.5, for example, it will be in the exact center of our slider. Of course, the left handle value should not be higher than the right handle value. So this should not be 0.9. It will break our slider. So this should be lower than the right handle position. So let's set this back to 0.2. We have the trackbar height and the fill bar height, and also these are visuals. So if you set this to 10, for example, notice how the height is different. I'm gonna set this back to 8. And the fill bar height, this is the fill bar, it's between the handles. You can set this also to 8, for example, so they are similar, but I'm gonna set this back to 3. You can change the colors of the trackbar, the fill bar, and the handles. Here are the 3 colors. And you can also set the min range and the max range values. So the values here are simply numbers. You can keep the numbers simple. For example, here we have 50 and 250. If I set this to 20, then it will map all the values, the math will just work, and the slider, if I set the left handle position to start from 0, you're going to see the range here also starts from the lowest value, which is in this case 20, and if I set the right handle position to 1, it will be the highest possible value. So right now it's set to 150. If I set this to 1500, then it will be 1500. Of course, you can set this to whatever you want, and based on how you change this, the values are going to update, and you get the idea. So I'm going to set this, for example, to 25, and this is to, let's say, 350, and the math is going to update. So I'm going to set this to 1, 350 here, 350 here. Now you will ask, hey, what about then what you have here, the square meter or the K or the dollar sign and so on? So how do I specify these? And the answer for that is here. So now here you can set the context on the main title values and the min max values, these two here. So here we have something like title prefix 1, title suffix 1, title prefix 2, title suffix 2, and that's for the main title values. So here, for example, prefix 1, it's this part here where we say range. So if I type hello, just for testing purposes, and type space, you will see range, hello, space, and then our values. So here, what I have then, I have the word range, and then I have the column here, and then I have a space. And if I hit enter, you will see the space here, and then the values we set here, the min range and the max range. For the suffix 1, so this is here what we call 1, and this is the prefix, this is the suffix, and this is 2. And right now it does not have a prefix, but there is a suffix. So the prefix here, if you type hello, you will see the hello here. So if you need for any reason to have a prefix, we have the ability to do that. If you don't, then simply keep it empty. For the suffix, we have space because, do we have a space? Yeah, we have a space. So if you add multiple spaces, you will see that reflected here, and then square meter or feet or whatever value you want to specify. You can add as whatever value you want and then set the context here. So here we have the min max prefix, the min max suffix, which is what we have here. Prefix. In this scenario, if I click here, you will see we have the $sign, the suffix, we have a K. Here in the range of the space, we don't have a prefix, but we have a suffix, and that's the square meters. So with very similar logic, if we take a look at the budget, we have the following. So range from 145K to 505, and then the min and the max, and all these are reflected here. So for example, here the suffix, we have a $sign. Here we don't have a, prefix, suffix. It's just too much to say these. The prefix to, here we have a $sign. You can add euro or whatever currency you want. Here we don't have a prefix because it's a space. So I hope this little lesson explains how you can update the sliders. Now, these are designed for the surface and for the budget. If you want custom solutions, let me know. Maybe we can take a look at them. But these are the two main things we have in our filter. Because in the filter logic, if we go here, we have the total area and the market value. We have the logic for them here, and then it goes with the rest of the filters, and we process all of that. So that's something to keep in mind, unless you watched my Unreal Engine course or you are a Blueprint expert and you know what you're doing. Well, if you're an expert, go for it. But if you are a beginner, then you may need a custom solution. And for a custom solution, you definitely need to know Blueprint and how this system was made. However, if you have any questions, let me know. I will do my best to assist. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this useful, and I will see you in the next one. Stay hydrated and take care.